power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom.
The power of the heart.
Finding the power of the heart.
The power of the heart.
The power of
Power
the
of
heart.
the heart. Power of the heart.
让我们寻回新的力量。
The power of the heart.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Yuru Chao. You are tuning in to the Power of the Heart on Da'ai Radio. We all yearn for inner peace, that sense of serenity where our hearts are free and untouched by any worry. Utterly transcendent. Little do we realize that such a state is very much within our reach. All it takes is a shift in perspective, a change in our direction of thinking. A friend forwarded me a Facebook entry from Mr. Antoine Lin. He's the person in charge of Tzu Chi in Zamboanga, Philippines, a place torn by natural disaster and fighting between rebels and military. Yet he has such a heart of gold that shows us a shift in perspective truly changes our thinking. Here is what he wrote on Facebook. Okay, I'm a crybaby. I never thought and would have believed the amount of care and love my Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have for the Philippines. The hard work, dedication, and care they are putting in practice is unbelievable. You have CEOs, recycling volunteers, professional, farmer, housewife, elderly volunteers, all competing with each other in showing their love for the Philippines. There for you to see are the sense of urgency and worry that is so heartfelt that it tugs your heart. Before we arrive, they practice and practice to get the most efficient and safest way to assemble the temporary classroom, mindful that we are not professional and lack volunteers. They assemble and disassemble 6 times and smoothen all sharp edges so that the volunteers and kids won't get hurt. They counted the nuts and bolts 3 times to make sure everything is complete. Label everything in Chinese and English because they know we can read Chinese. They told me, you guys must be very, very tired from all the relief works. We just want to make sure we will not give you any reason to worry. They absorb all that for us after being toured around the production area and saw all the volunteers tired but with a ready smile for us. I could not help but think, could I do the same for others if the shoe is on the other foot? An elderly volunteer came to thank me for giving meaning to his life, thanking us for the opportunity. I wasn't here. If I wasn't here, I would not have believed a person is capable of that. At the end of the tour, Sister Jessica Yan asked me, what can you say to the volunteers? That was it. The dame burst, and I was sobbing uncontrollably. That I had to excuse myself to compose myself. I went to a corner and cried some more, overwhelmed by the love shown to us. A sister offered me tea and said sorry for making me cry. Guess what? I cried some more. What can you really say? No words can express what I felt at that moment. As I'm typing this, I'm shedding tears again as I recall those moments and pray that we all be like them. Thank you, Master Cheng Yen, for inspiring all of us to feel for others and to treat their joys and sadness as our own. When we finally receive the classrooms, it will not be just a shelter of learning for our schools, but a living monument of what the human spirit is capable of, no more and no less. And we as the recipient can do no less but be filled with love and hope every time we see these classrooms. And that is what Mr. Antoine Lin wrote after he toured a facility manufacturing and pre-assembling all the necessary parts to ship temporary classroom to the war-torn area in Zamboanga so students can continue education without interruption. Next, I would like to read you another inspiration from a little boy in Zamboanga whose name is Anthony. He's 9 years old. He gave all his savings, about 1,000 pesos, to survivors of Yolanda, even though he himself was displaced due to the fierce fighting between rebels and military. He wants suffering to stop in evacuation centers for Typhoon Yolanda. He wants stealing to stop too, and that there be peace again among all the people in his country. He wrote a letter on a page from composition notebook. Dear Aunt May, I'm sharing my allowance saving to the victims of Typhoon Yolanda. Please hand my money to them, so they do not need to suffer in evacuation centers. I want them to stop stealing and be peaceful again. I am giving all I have, 979 pesos plus coins. Love from Anthony. He even drew a big smiley face right next to his signature and a picture of him playing in an evacuation center. In this picture, he showed the life inside the evacuation center. People sleeping on temporary cots, his mom and others sitting and waiting for medical treatment, a line of people waiting for food and drink, people praying at the makeshift chapel. He holds a sword and plays with other children with a smile on his face. On the roof of this evacuation center, he drew an airplane landing with relief goods, and also a truck delivering food and water to the door of evacuation center. So you see, if this little boy can find this love in him to give all he can to survivor, even though he himself is in a hardship, that we see, if we take Buddha's teaching to heart and cleanse away our affliction, illusion, and inner impurities, our heart can be clean and pure, and we can touch this inner peace and tranquility. And everything comes from the mind alone. The Buddha tells us, great happiness and peace can be ours if we but make that inner shift and take that one step out of the affliction that we are in. Then we can find this beautiful inner peace within ourselves. And this is what we'll cover today in our program, taking the step to touch our inner peace and tranquility. In our program today, we'll begin with a reading of Master Cheng Yen's teaching about taking the step by Dharma Master Derling. Then after a short break, we'll discuss this teaching with Miss Sarah Chu.
You are listening to The Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. Tapping into the power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom. Finding the power of the heart.
The Power of the Heart, Part 2, Cultivation. Today we will be listening to the teaching on taking the step. Before we go into the teaching, let us first listen to the editor's introduction. It says, in Buddhism, cultivation refers to working on ourselves, like a farmer cultivating the land. In offering teachings on cultivation, Dharma Master Cheng Yen often uses stories so people might better relate to the teaching and connect it to their experiences. Her hope is for people to make use of the teachings to cultivate themselves in daily life. Part 2 comprises a selection of these teachings. Now we will be listening to the teaching on taking the step. Ideally, it would be truly wonderful if all things could be as we desire. But the truth is that in life, many things are not within our control. Yet, though this is a fact of life, we become very troubled and afflicted over this. It creates so much inner turmoil that we feel as if there were an oppressive heat bearing down on us, making us restless and agitated. How we yearn for inner peace, that sense of serenity, where our hearts are free and untouched by any worries, utterly transcendent. Little do we realize that such a state is very much within our reach. All it takes is a shift in perspective, a change in our direction of thinking. Imagine a man standing in a pit of manure. In front of him is a tranquil fountain with stunning water lilies floating on its clear waters. The beauty takes his breath away. How wonderful it would be to be there, at that fountain with those beautiful flowers in full bloom. Deep yearning fills his heart. The fountain is actually very near. If the man but takes one step, he can go there and enjoy its wondrous beauty. Yet, he remains where he is, full of longing for the fountain. In truth, no one is keeping him from the mountain. It is he himself who does not go there. We are like that man. With afflictions broiling within us, we are in that pit of manure, our minds full of negativity, misery, and unkind thoughts. Yet, thoughts come and go. With a change in the direction of our thinking, we can completely transform our inner state and touch that sense of wondrous peace and tranquility. How is it possible to make that change in thinking, that shift in perspective? It can actually be very easy. In the Buddha's teachings, we have many aids that can help us transcend our afflictions. These teachings give us insight into life's truths, which can open our mind and perspective and shine a light on our illusions. It is these illusions and blindness to truth that are at the root of our suffering. If we can take the Buddha's teachings to heart, they will cleanse away our afflictions, illusions, and inner impurities. In the moment our hearts are clean and pure, we touch inner peace and tranquility. Everything comes from the mind alone, the Buddha tells us. Great happiness and peace can be ours if we but make that inner shift and take that one step out of the manure pit toward the beautiful fountain.
Led by causes from life's past, in this life we meet again. Call it luck, call it coincidence. We meet our match in the sixth pair.
Because this life we meet again. All those troubles I don't mind. What we set in motion suits me fine. Let love guide us again this time.
You're from far away,
I come from Neverland.
can't find a word to say, no need to lift a hand.
Searching everywhere, our memory was waiting there. From bits and pieces comes the hope of our lives.
those troubles, I don't mind. What we set in motion suits me fine. Let love guide us again this time.
You're from far away,
I come from Neverland.
can't find a word to say. No need to lift a hand.
Searching everywhere,
Our memory was waiting there. From bits and pieces comes the hope of our lives.
你在天涯，
我在海角，不是言语，不求回报，圈圈秘密，你我生存的距离，点点滴滴，化作生命的期许。
Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm from Hualien, and my favorite Jingsi aphorism is to remain positive and easy at any moment. One must practice them well in all circumstances. The reason I like the Jingsi aphorism is because during everyday life, we have many difficulties, sometimes from work, sometimes from the families, but when we have to be positive and conquer all the difficulties, and be positive and be ease will help me throughout everyday life. And may wisdom and inspiration be with you always.
勇于付出，知足的心就是幸福。
You are listening to The Power of the Heart.
Our special guest today is Sarah Chu. I met Sarah when she was a student in Boston, and I was a staff with Tzu Chi New York office. It was such a refreshing experience for me to help a youth volunteer finding a career within the Tzu Chi family. I could never imagine that so many years later, we'll meet up again here in Hualien, Taiwan as two dedicated members in Jingsi Abode, the home of Tzu Chi world. Welcome, Sarah, to the program. I'm so glad that you're here with us.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here too.
So tell us, Sarah, what inspired you to join Tzu Chi at such a young age?
I have to say that because one of my classmates, high school classmates, she was Tzu Chi in Texas, and one day she invited me to a camp, to help out a camp, and I feel very comfortable in the camp. And then it was like the time I start to know about Master Cheng Yen, to know about Tzu Chi, and then when I back to Boston, I began to know more about Tzu Chi, to meet more volunteers, and then I've made many of good friends. I think that they are my lifelong good friends, so that's why I'm in Tzu Chi.
Lucky you never realized by meeting the right people that you're actually taking the right step forward in this path of spiritual cultivation. And how wonderful it will be to be surrounded by all these nice friends who guided you toward the wholesome direction in life. So, can you share with us what are you working on now as a staff with Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation here in Hualien? What are your job responsibility and what do you help out?
Right now, I'm more website administrator. I'm in charge of the Tzuji's English websites, and then in my team, we work on many of the websites. And then for me, I will work on the website in Hong Kong or in Spanish and many of the websites. And then we also do brochures, like in English brochure, and once we did a brochure in Urdu language. And that's main focus. We do like publishing things.
Wow, with so many different websites, different language that we provide to people in the world, I can imagine a lot of people searching on our website, looking for that serenity, looking for that peace in their mind when they are afflicted. Because truly, like what we heard in the teaching today, when affliction boiling within us, well, like in that pit of manure, our mind full of negativity, misery, and unkind thoughts, we're looking for heartwarming story to alleviate us from our negativity. But where to find them? Well, Tzuji website. And not just one website with Chinese. We also have many different websites in English, Spanish, and all different languages, because we know there are a lot of suffering out there in the world, and we're doing all we can to reach out to help people change themselves, to change the direction of their thinking, so they can completely transform their inner state and touch that sense of wondrous peace and tranquility. So I see that you're doing a very essential function to serve all the people out there. Now, I often hear people ask this question, and like to hear your experience on that. Many people ask me that, how do you find time to be a volunteer? Because they think their life is so full of duties and responsibility for their job and their family. They cannot fit Tzuji or any other charity work into their life. But they also see volunteers enjoying such a peace and such a serenity, and they want that, how to take a step forward in this path of volunteering. What's your experience on that?
I think that we have to think this way, that Tzuji is part of our life. When you think that's part of our life, you're like you're put into your schedules just like that. And you will just find a little time. Even like one of our translators, she will wake up every day an hour early just to do the translation work, and then she will take care of her children and start her work for the whole days, and just 1 hour every day, and that's her time to doing the charity work.
Wow, that's wonderful method for time management, because you can have everything. You can take care of your family, you can be a volunteer. If you're mindful in looking for that time in the day, even 1 hour a day accumulated over time, it does mean significant things. It's almost like the concept of coin bank, isn't it?
Yes.
When you deposit small coins every day, and over time join together, that we can save someone. You can never imagine a penny can save someone. Can you give us another example about how you manage to enjoy your family relationship while being a volunteer? There must be a way where we can have all these together.
I think we all need our family's support. When, like my parents, they are not Tzuji volunteers, but they support me when I say that I want to do some work or do some. I spend a lot of time in Tzuji's, and then they don't really understand it, but they support my decisions, and then that's what keeps me going, because they are not holding me back, but to letting me go.
But I'm sure I've seen many families joining Tzuji together, and then by volunteering, they're actually enjoying their family time.
Yes, and then some of our volunteers, they bring their children to the office, or sometimes the children can play with other kids in the office, and then the adult will do their charity work, like maybe cooking or cleaning the office or have the meetings, and they all come together as the family days during the weekends, and that's how they do their charity work.
interesting. A family day that's good for the family and good for people in need out there. So you are doing multiple goods in
Yes.
one thing.
And then sometimes they will go to to the people that care recipients or go to senior homes, and they also show their children that what they have. They are really blessing to have their life right now, and they also have the ability to help others.
So from very early on in their children's life, they show their children what it is to be a volunteer. The peace and joy of being a volunteer at such a young age, seated in their children's mind, will definitely be a great education for their children to grow up with. And that is what we're talking about, that this serenity and this peace is within us. If we only tap into it, all it takes is really just a shift in perspective and a change in our direction of thinking, then everything is possible. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us today. Please join us next time to continue our discussion on the power of the heart. If you want to read this book we're talking about, you can find a copy of this book in any Jinsi bookstore and cafe. For more teachings from Dharma Master Zhen Yan, please tune in next time to our program. Goodbye and have a great day.
Deep in my dreams, I see your smile, the most beautiful smile in the world. Lines on your face are traces of love, comforting touches heal the wounds of my soul. As I grow old, throughout the years, I've always turned away from your heart. But your forgiveness is vast as the sea, letting me brave the winds and waves, chasing my dreams. Your smile in my dreams is a haven of my life, just like a river running round the world. I am grateful for the dreams, for your smile of boundless love, day after day, as long as the earth and sky. day as long as the earth and sky. I am grateful for the dreams, for your smile